Hello and welcome. Welcome to this Wednesday. Yes, it's one of those days yet again where Soul to Soul Wellbeing, Parveen Smith is your host here, going live. And each week we have different subject matters that we do cover, and we look at how we can enhance your well-being. So, a little introduction if you're listening in for the very first time. My name is Parveen Smith, Soul to Soul Wellbeing founder, and I am a survivor of extreme adversities of life and disabilities. Once upon a time, I was told I would have 50-50 chance of ever walking again. Was I able to walk? Yes. Did it take me a few years to get there? Yes, it did. And another occasion, I was told I would be disabled for a very long time, a separate disability. I recovered within 2 years rather than 20 or 40 years of disability. Now you may ask, how did you do this, Parveen? I will share this with you. Today, we're talking about soul to soul. What does soul to soul mean? In fact, actually, let me just go to the first word, soul. So soul means a part of you that is not immersed as the human body itself, but yet it's something deeper within. So we can sometimes use the word soul. What a beautiful soul. What do we refer to? Do we refer to the exterior appearance that we can see right in front of us? Or do we approach that in a different sense and mean it in a way that we see something more beautiful inside that person? You may say it's the second, and if you do say that, you're correct, because the soul is much a deeper perspective of a human being. Sometimes we may use the word, what a beautiful spirit she has. But what if we use the word, what a beautiful soul she is or has? Now, this is something that's been so meaningful for me most of my life, in fact. I can remember that from a very young age. But if we go back to the word soul, sometimes people may be upset with somebody and they may say the word, oh my goodness me, that person is really lacking soul, and that could be a little bit on the downside or the negative side, that they may not like that person or that person does not come across well. But then we can also say, wow, look at this. This food is for the soul. Yeah. So something really that we can honor, something that we appreciate, something that's so beautiful, so pure, and so lovely and loving, maybe. But we're going to eat that food because it's good for the soul. So we're not just looking at us as the exterior appearance of the physical case, the physical body. We're going deeper within. So where did the name Soul to Soul Wellbeing originate from? Now, a few years ago, I'm going to say I did not choose this. It was my husband. We sat one day, we were looking for the name for this business, and he said, you know what, Parveen, what really, really makes me think about you and how you work is from soul to soul. He was interpreting how I work as an individual person who wants to help somebody. So he saw me as a one soul helping another soul. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So Soul to Soul was born. And I'm going to say we renamed our business after many years, because Soul to Soul Wellbeing has been a new name over the last 5 years or so. But what I can say is it was something that was inherent in me, like I said, from a very young age. And me being connected from one soul to another soul meant a lot. Being connected from one person to another person means a lot. So we're soulfully helping people. And we're looking at the word soul goes beyond the physicalness. It goes beyond that. Some may say it's the spirit of the person within, as I mentioned earlier. And it also can relate to, for example, when two people meet for the very first time, it may feel as if they've known each other for years and years and years. And sometimes we may say, oh, we're soulmates, or we've been deep friends for a really long time. There's lots of other variations we can use with that as well. But when we look at this, when souls meet, it may not feel as if it's the very first time. It may feel as if you've known each other for a very long time. If you want me to go a little bit deeper into this, and I'm trying not to make it too heavy subject for you today, really, in reality, what we can say is that the soul is not necessarily the mind or the body, but it's deeper within. And I was looking at sharing this with you because what we're looking at here is it's actually something that survives the physical body itself. It's a deep subject matter, I know, but if we can just understand this, you'll understand why I am doing what I'm doing and why Soul to Soul Wellbeing has been helping people for a very long time. Because we're going beyond and beyond and beyond. Because the soul, so they say in ancient writings, that it can live forever. It does live forever. In fact, the soul doesn't die. It's just the physical case, the body that doesn't stay fit and well and deteriorates and then eventually is no longer here. But the soul can live on. So do you understand, like from my background and my culture, the Indian culture, when I went into the temples and I was a little girl, this meant a lot to me back then. So it's nothing new to me. It's just that my husband chose this name for my business, and it means a lot that he knows how much I have been helping people for a very long time. So the next thing I want to look at is that every single, I'm going to talk about emotions today as well, human being has a soul. And the soul can also be recognized as being made of emotions, because every soul has feelings, emotions, thoughts, and we recognize these. And there's also a love and affection that goes with that as well for each soul. So when I talk about emotions, which is the next thing I'd like to share with you, is that each one of us, every living being has emotions. Yeah. And if we are not looking after our emotional and mental well-being, we will actually sort of go into lower moods, maybe go into sadness and maybe go into depression. But my job is to help you to elevate that. Our emotions are so important because they can make us or they can break us. And we have a choice. Which way do we want to go? Do we want to keep our emotions as happy as possible and not be held down on some level? Would you say yes? Because I would say so. I know for a fact that there's a very high population worldwide that suffers from low mood, stress, anxiety, and depression. But most of the time, I've been talking about this all week, that people don't want to say that they do. Very few people will actually say that they don't feel stressed. Well, in fact, a lot of people do. We've become accustomed to living with this in this modern day chaotic world as we see it right now in 2025. And what is happening is that the world is also affecting us. What's happening to our family members is affecting us. It's all emotional. But how can we actually overcome these emotional states? There are ways. But first of all, the biggest thing I'm going to say is you've got to learn to recognize what is happening for you, what's happening in your body system, what are you feeling? Because you as a single human being, who is a soul, by the way, I'm a soul, you're a soul, we have emotions, and those emotions affect us. Those emotions affect different parts of our body system. They can make us either feel happy and well, or they can make us feel low mood, stressed, anxious, and even depressed. But I want to share something with you. I'm just going to stop there for a second before we go into the next part. Now, my emotions last year in the autumn was so happy. Do you know why? As I've already said, I'm a survivor of adversities and traumas. I've gone through disabilities. I'm alive, healthy and well. And then last year, this organization contacted me and said, we would like to nominate you for the most admired global Indian. And I wanted to share that happy moment with you right now. And this was my certificate. And this is to award me for the most admired and magnificent Global Indian Award 2024. You know what my emotions were right at that moment? Beyond words. Because at the beginning I thought, yes, okay, really? But when I was actually in Thailand receiving this award, I could not believe it. And this also, of course, mentions my name, Parveen Smith, founder of Soul to Soul Wellbeing. Now, why do I show you this? Because I want you to recognize that we can have different types of emotions. So once upon a time when my body was not well, I wouldn't have had the greatest emotions. But when my body started to fix and get better, and of which we use the tools for with that what we have at Soul to Soul Wellbeing, then guess what? Life takes a different turn to the upward hill where we can go, wow, this is amazing. And the happier emotions come in because we're succeeding. And every person has this ability to either say, yes, I want to be healthy, or no, believe it or not, some people don't take the yes answer quite easily, or no, I will stay as I am. And Soul to Soul Wellbeing was born to help and support people. We've been supporting people for over 2 decades, believe it or not. 2 decades, but plus that, mentoring people for a long time as well. So I'm going to share something with you here. Something that I was writing up for this particular streaming today for YouTube, for you. Because Soul to Soul Wellbeing loves to give you thoughts, something to think about, how am I doing right now? So sometimes in these recordings, you may have a pen and paper ready. And if you have, fantastic. If you haven't, quickly go and grab one. And if not, write it onto your phone, type it in. Now, first one I'm going to ask you today again is, how are you feeling? How are your emotions? You know, what do you feel? Do you feel I'm okay? I'm just getting by. I feel amazing. Or actually, I'm not doing as great as I thought I was doing. Whatever you're feeling, I want you to write those words down. Am I feeling happy? Yes. Am I feeling a little bit low? I'm feeling low. If I'm feeling great, I'm feeling great. If I'm feeling on top of the world, I'm feeling on top of the world. This is your journey. And this is where we come in to support you. So your emotions and how you feel will have a profound influence on your entire well-being. Not just a little bit. I'm talking about the entire well-being. Do you know why I know this? Because I've been there. I've been through it too many times that I can't even tell you even on one hand or two hands. Yeah? So emotions can have a profound influence on our overall well-being. It's a connection that we can have, okay, and with other people. The connections of how we feel maybe with our workplace, with family, friends, or there's a tragedy or there's a crisis going on. But we know that there are different ways of looking at our emotions, whether it's through psychology, neuroscience, or medicine. Now, if we look at medicine, a doctor or a consultant would give you antidepressants, anti-anxiety tablets, for example, if your mood was low or if you didn't feel so well emotionally and mentally. But imagine taking that for a very long time of your life and then the impact of that on your body. You can have options, of course. You may choose to have alternative medicine as well as the medicine that your GP or consultant gives you. You may go to other ways of thinking about what would be good for your health, emotionally and mentally. So I would say running, jogging is great. Going to the gym is great. And it will give you some boosts. The serotonin, the feel good factor, but still deep within your body system, you may feel there's a locked in emotion that cannot be erased just like that by going to the gym. So what we're looking at here is your stress levels can get high if your emotional state is not well, and that will affect your immune system. And when it affects your immune system, lots of other complications come in. But what can we do about that? Yes, get some fresh air, get into the sunlight, go for a swim, go for a jog. See, these are some things you can do. So if you've looked at what you're feeling, some of these things I'm just reeling off to you right now may be useful for you. You may need to go and see a doctor, for example, or you might need some coaching or mentoring. And at the same time, we're looking at eating well as well, which will have a big impact on your mood. The more stress your body system goes through, the more illness we will have in the long run. You may not see it right now, it may be later. But what I want to show you here right now is how can we get you healthy and well? Because Soul to Soul Wellbeing have been awarded so many awards to help people, because we have helped people get well. It may not be us you want the help from, it might be from somebody else. But what I want to showcase to you is don't struggle alone. Don't struggle alone. So research does actually show that the stress and the chronic stress can have an impact on our health, especially for the cardiovascular. And research indicates that the negative emotional states, particularly like anger, hostility, frustration, they definitely increase problems with cardiovascular and the diseases set on further. Whereas if we have the positive emotions we're looking at, these are going to help us to lower any cardiovascular problems, and especially blood pressure, because your blood pressure will go high if your stress levels are high and if your emotional state is high, with all the frustrations that your body system may be going through because there's a crisis. There could have been a bereavement in the family. It could be absolutely anything. It could be loss of a job, family member going through a divorce. You see, these all sort of things can have an impact, and we don't always recognize it straight away. But I will take you into the transformative path and share a little bit more with you in that book. So your emotional and mental strengths really do matter to keep you healthy and well. Last week we talked about all sorts of different things, the elements that you have choices. What new skill are you having? What are you using? All these new things are usually useful because they are parts of your growth. And just today, I was speaking to one of my clients and she's doing really well. And she said to me, Parveen, I'm doing really well. And guess what? I have a new skill. I'm trying to experiment with what I could do next. For example, she went to a big theatre show and the new skill came in. For example, it could be archery, never done it before, so I'll give it a go. Wow, you know what? She's my client. She's read Transformative Path and it talks about new skill sets and embracing changes. That's exactly what she's done. She said, I've never been so happy. And the sunshine is coming out here in the UK now. And it's that space where I feel good right now because we're getting the vitamin D. It's making us feel smiley and happy. The warm weather is here. There are good elements to our well-being, but it's not everything. I can tell you that right now. I've been doing this for such a long time, helping people's body systems to reset, be healthy and well in more than one way, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And when I ask you the question, what is soul to soul well-being? That's exactly what it is. It's well-being from one person to another person, communicating, connecting, and helping them to reset their body system so that they can go on to their jobs, whether it's family situation or whatever, and feel healthy and well. That's what soul to soul well-being does. Resets people's body systems and to lower the states of diseases. It could be blood pressure, low mood, no direction in life. I need coaching, for example. Can you help me with this? I can't get to work because I have low mood. I'm feeling depressed because of this. I can't even smile right now. These are sort of things that I see my clients say and how they feel. So, what's the biggest thing about today? It's all about emotional and mental wellness. How your soul can feel different from the inside out. Because the physical body is this, but you have a soul which is deep inside. I'm sure some of you will understand this and agree with me. But if you didn't know this and you're thinking, how does that actually even work, Parveen? Well, in all the different cultures around the world, I feel pretty sure that they would have talked about this. Whether it's the Indian culture, whether it's the Chinese culture, whether it's the Middle East, people understand that there's more to the human body itself. So we can all come together collectively to understand what the body system really, really, really requires. It's well-being, it's wellness. And nobody, I'm sure, likes to see somebody else struggle or suffer. And this is us supporting you by educating you, by giving you the little reminders even, you know. You may already know all this, but it's the reminders we need sometimes to move on and move forward, to be happier and be the best that we possibly can be. So, last time we were talking about transformation and we were looking at different things. Okay, and what I want to share with you today is, again, it is about reminding us the purpose of the life thoughts, to find your way through the web of life. So I want to share this with you because I wanted to do this on a level where it may seem simple, that life is simple, but sometimes we can get confused in everything that's happening, whether it's in our household, at the workplace, or globally. And to find your way through the web of life is really interesting because you've got to find your way through sometimes the difficult situations, sometimes the challenging situations, and it's about understanding what would work for you. So the next thing I wanted to share with you here is that everybody's journey is different. We're not all the same. And as I was doing a radio show as well just yesterday, and we talked about some of these aspects, and the radio host said to me, wow, Parveen, you've really made me think about a few things here because it's making me realize things that I needed to hear today. And that's what we are doing. We're allowing you to have the reminders. Maybe sometimes you did know this or some time ago, but maybe you've forgotten. And now this reminder is here to give you a little bit of a thought so how you can propel your life further. Karma is what you give out, what you will get back. So if we are good to other people, we will get the goodness back. And already, many cultures already understand this. But the Western world started learning more about this, I would say, over the last 15 years or 20 years or so. But this is something that is in the Indian culture already, which is really deeply understood. Because what you do as a good person to another good person, you will get the goodness back. But if you're being horrible to another person, guess what? That rotates back to the same person who's given it out, if that makes sense. Now, things will get better every day in every way. And I say this and repeat this to my clients often. When they're going through a difficult time, everything will get better. Things will get better every day in every way. And when we're going through the adversities and we're going through that challenge, or there's been a little argument going on into the family and you're thinking, oh my goodness me, when is this going to get resolved? It's all blown out of proportion. Just remember, things will get better, and they will every day. Next one I've got here, one of my purpose of life thoughts is our opinions are our own opinions. Be kind. So the reason why I say this is our opinions are our own opinions. So we can have lots of opinions. You know, when you were at high school, you would have been taught how to debate. You know, back in the days they did this, and I'm sure they still do this today. And our opinions are our own opinions. We may not agree. You might not agree with something I'm saying right now, you know, but there are opinions and there are thought processes a person has. And we can agree to disagree on some of these things too. Would you agree with that? I hear lots of different controversial stuff going on. People go into conspiracy theories and all sorts. And guess what? I will listen, but I may not agree. But that's my opinion, and that's their opinion. So you know how we can still be friendly and get on. We don't have to lose friendships over opinions either, because what's the point, you know? Life is too short. The next thing I want to share with you, number 6 here, is the past cannot be changed. Wow. And I love this in my book. I really do, because I know what happened in my past, and I know what happened when I was growing up, to the teenage years, to my middle years, to where I am right now. And I can't change that, what happened. I really cannot change that. But one thing I can do is to understand it the best way I can. I've got to let go of any adversities that did happen, which I do accept. And then I've got to live on. And when we live on to the fullest that we can be, you will have the vibrancy, you will feel amazing, and you will thank yourself for getting over some of the adversities that you may have gone through, if that makes sense. Yeah? Keep nodding. If you like it, give me the thumbs up. And remember, you can still like and subscribe if you haven't done just yet and you're watching this halfway through or so. Now, the last one here, number 7, is the inner joy is the most important. How often do we actually recognize that? We're sometimes too busy out there grasping and grasping and grasping to things, items and shiny objects. You know, we're entitled to them, by the way, but it depends how far you go with that as well. We've got to have that balance. And we forget that all the happiness necessarily isn't out there. The happiness, really, the true happiness, remember the word soul, SOUL, the soul can hold on to so much inner joy and so much happiness that will help you to excel in life. Now, you may be thinking, Parveen, gosh, this is a deep subject matter today. And I wanted to go into that because I wanted to explain a little bit more of why Soul to Soul Wellbeing is here, because we want to help you with some of the deeper stuff that you may be going through emotionally, mentally, physically, and on a soul level, what's inside you deeply. Sometimes people struggle through these and thinking that there's nothing out there, nothing's going to help them. But actually, we get really, really, really good results, really good results. And I will share these with you in the near future as well. But if I can just go on to, that's the 7 purpose of life thoughts in my book here. Okay, so this is a transformative path, and it's available on Amazon, and it's also available through me, and it's available in most countries around the world. A #1 bestseller, and it's #1 in psychology as well. And just to sort of come close to the end of this session before we do finish off, I had a lovely gentleman who came for his session today, and he feels rather unwell because he's trying to overcome his cancer, and it's a brain tumor, and is okay with me talking about it as well. I won't mention his name though, even though he doesn't mind, I'm sure. But and he's given me all the rights to speak about him because he is such a wonderful gentleman. He's lived his service for this lifetime that he's lived. He's done a great job to humanity, I'm going to say. And then the shock of having a brain tumor 18 months ago left him in shock. And what did he do? He started receiving his sessions with me. And I will tell you, the power in what we do and the wellness sessions or the coaching or the mentoring or the programs is so profound that before coming to me in the sessions, he can feel low, he can feel down, and the oomph is not there. Within that 1 hour session, he will have clarity, he will have focus, his energy picks up, and his eyesight becomes brighter. Literally, his physical eyesight is brighter. And unfortunately, this gentleman is now visually impaired and slowly is going that way because that was his prognosis. And he's very aware one day he will lose his sight. That's what he's been told. But I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, with the sessions that I have been doing for him, and these are sessions on Zoom as well as in person, his eyesight is sharper. It becomes sharper within the 1 hour. How does this work? It's because we have the tools. We have the right tools to help people's body systems to be healthy and well and to rejuvenate and to recover per time frame. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. You see the power in soul to soul well-being is much more than just what I talked about, which is the physical case. Yeah. And that's how I started off this session here today. Now, one thing I will say to all of you here is Thank you for liking this. Thank you for these insights. Thank you very much for sharing that with me, Toby. And I'm going to now, last week, remember when I said I have my own deck of cards and they are just affirmative cards and guidance to support you. Because if I shuffle these cards or if I just pick one out right now, this is going to be your vital message for this week. Wow. So the vital message for this week is mystery. Okay, so you may well be wondering, what is the mystery with all of this? Because I've gone on a different level in this topic matter with you today, and each week it will be a different topic that I will talk about. Mystery. So I've talked about the soul, and you're probably thinking, what's she talking about? What was this soul subject matter? Some of you will understand, some of you may not. Now, the mystery card is coming up because this is a mysterious subject matter that not many people would talk about. I work with business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and people who are not feeling well in their body. And those who know me will understand this particular mystery card. But then those who don't know me will query, what's Parveen talking about? Now, life is a mystery, ladies and gentlemen, right? And I'm sure you may be reflecting back into your own mind frame. Yes, I've had mysterious times and have not been able to fathom something out. The mystery of life, on this card is saying this, the mystery of life is unfolding when you realize it is your journey. It is no longer a mystery. Wow. That sounds like a bit of a riddle. I'm going to say it does sound like that. But you are all on a journey. But how much power are you saying yes to yourself? As in, I have the power to say yes. I would like some help. I would like to fix this. I would like some support on this. I would like to be mentored in this. I want to be coached on this. How many of us actually say yes to ourselves? Because a lot of us are too busy in the big wide world running around doing stuff, but we don't give time for ourselves. And I will share one more thing with you before I do go. Every single human being, somewhere successful human beings have got coaches, have got mentors, have got guides, have got teachers, have got pastors or priests, yeah, who may help them in whichever frame of culture they may well be, to help them to get from one place to another, to nurture them into growth. And that's exactly what we do at Soul to Soul Wellbeing, help you on your journey to growth. And now, what was your mood at the beginning? How did you feel? And what did you write on your piece of paper? And what do you feel right now? I hope that today I have inspired you. I hope that you will have some takeaways and you will watch this again and again so that you can understand a little bit more, because you might have missed something out. And I hope that you will like and subscribe and follow us every week, every Wednesday, 8:30 till 9 UK time. Share this with your family and friends, people who may need the support and help, but you forgot to tell them, let's just say. But share it, because this is what this is about. I'm sharing some gems with you. And that's all from me for now. My name is Parveen Smith from Soul to Soul Wellbeing, an awardee, global awardee in the wellness programs. Thank you very much.